Hello, I'm Sam Gould, phone control specialist here at Hycontrol, and today we're doing a quick how-to video on wiring up the new SureSense Plus. Once you unbox your SureSense Plus, you'll need to remove the front cover. This is done by removing the two screws either side, and that will reveal the terminals. The terminals we've got here are the DC power. The unit is powered by 12 to 30 volt DC current, and then you've got your earth returns and probes 1, 2 and 3. On a single point probe you'll only need to wire in probes 1, and a double point probe 1 and 2, and on a 3 point 1, 2 and 3. We also have the 4 to 20 milliamp output here. We have Modbus connection, but this is only for factory use, and then we have our relays. You'll notice relay 1 has 3 terminals and the rest have 2. This is the only relay with a common. We also have our earth returns at TB11. The first thing you're going to want to do is remove the blockers. This is so you can add the cable glands into these holes. For the power you'll need a M16 cable gland, and then your probe is a bit bigger, it's an M20. To wire up your DC power you need to come through the cable gland, and then you can connect into your terminal block. And then we wire the negative into our left hand side and make sure it's tight, and our positive to the right hand side. This is also marked out on the board, negative and positive. So we can then put that terminal block back in. Once you've got all your cables through your cable gland, we can remove the terminals, and we're going to want probes 1, 2 and 3. Once we've removed our 3 terminal blocks, the probes will always be wired with the ground on the left, the test in the middle and the screen on the outside. All of the ground wires will be black. We'll start with the brown and white cable for probe 1. Firstly, you'll put the ground into the far left terminal block and tighten this up. Next, you'll have the white cable, which is the test. And finally the brown cable, which is our sense. On a single point probe, this is all you'd need to wire up for the probe to work. So once we've wired up the first probe, we can begin wiring up the second. The second is our green, yellow and black. So once again, the black is always the far left as you're looking at the screws. On this one, our test is the green, and finally the sense, our yellow cable. So finally our third point, black on the left, grey, which is our test in the middle, and pink, which is our sense on the outside. Earth returns at TB11. So on TB8 and 9 we have our relays. You'll notice TB8 is a changeover relay and has a common. Relays 2 to 5 have this, and it's normally open. But there is options for normally energized and normally de-energized in the settings on the controller itself. So as you can see, there's only 2 terminals for each cable. These relays are normally open. So next we'll talk about the probe wiring. When you open up the head of the probe, you'll be greeted with a circuit board that looks much like this. Once again, you'll have 3 separate terminal blocks, and they'll be marked up SK1, 2 and 3. Similar to in the controller, this is probe 1, probe 2 and probe 3. You'll also notice it marks out which wires go where with the G, T and S, meaning guard, test and screen. So once you've fed your cable through your cable gland, you're going to need to remove your terminal blocks 1, 2 and 3. And much like in the controller, in the probe you're going to need the black cables on the left hand side, your tests in the middle and your sensors on the outside. So we'll start first of all with sensor point 1, which was our brown, black and white cables. So I'll insert our black cable into the left hand side, and then I'll put our test, which is our white cable, into the middle, and finally the sense, which is the brown, goes on the right hand side. For the second sensor, we will go to our green and yellow cable. Once more, card on the left. Your test, which is your green, goes into the middle. And your sense, which is our yellow cable, goes on the right hand side. Once more, all of these are from when you're looking at the screw side. So finally our third point, which you'll only have on 3-point probes. Black on the left, grey, which is our test, in the middle, and pink, which is our sense, on the outside. So once we've wired into our terminal blocks, we're going to want to insert them back into the probe. It might be a good idea before that, if you're using a metal tank to earth your probe, connect your earth underneath the screw in the head of the probe. Like so. Okay, so sense point 1 is our brown, black and white, and that goes into SK1 down the bottom here. Sense point 2, which is our yellow cable, goes into the bottom right, and sense point 3 goes in at the top. Once this is wired up, we can replace the head. And we've finished wiring up the SureSense Plus. So now your system's wired up, you'll be able to detect foam and the controller will show you when it's there. It'll also be able to detect liquid, but we haven't set any outputs up yet. So to do that, we'll use either our 4-20 or our volt-free contacts. The volt-free contacts can be used to control dosing pumps, to activate alarms, to actuate solenoids. You can even have the 4-20 back to your PLC. There is instructions on how to wire all your outputs up in the manual. If you need any help setting this up, don't hesitate to give us a call. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did want any more information, you can always visit our website, which is www.foamcontrol.co.uk. Thank you.